I am John Atack.
I am Sam Atack.
And this is an Opening Minds presentation. Now, we're going to talk about New Age nonsense today because there's a lot of it about. And I was looking at my bookshelf. I have way too many books. And I found this remarkable title. I have no memory of buying this book. But I did, apparently, or somebody gave it to me. And it's, I don't remember looking at it before. I've certainly had it for 30 years. It's written by Catherine Ponder. And on the back it says, Catherine Ponder is considered one of America's foremost inspirational authors. She has written more than a dozen books, which include such bestsellers as The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity and her Millionaires of the Bible series. She is a minister of the non-denominational unity faith, long known as the pioneer of positive thinking, and Dr. Ponder has been described by some as the Norman Vincent Peale among lady ministers. I don't know who the some are who've described as that. It certainly wasn't me.
Yeah.
She's served in Unity churches since 1956, so I'm presuming that she's not alive enough to sue me anymore. I'm really hoping that. And she heads a global ministry in Palm Desert, California. A global ministry.
In
Palm Desert.
Yeah.
And she is listed in the American Society of Distinguished Citizens and Who's Who in the World. Right, let's just get straight to it. I'm just going to, I've opened a page here. Mm-hmm. Somebody who owned this book before me, and her name is written in it, but I'm not gonna tell anybody what she's called unless she sends us, obviously, the money. If she doesn't, no, we won't get into this. Yeah. It's a joke about blackmailing people, and we don't want to do that, really. Colour healing was an ancient science and was practiced in the healing temples of Egypt, India, and China. Now, where's the reference note that explains where this peculiar statement comes from? Our modern doctors and scientists are now rediscovering the power of colour, and experiments have been made in some hospitals, she's not going to tell you where, probably part of her global ministry, showing how colours affect the patient's recovery. Now, particularly in mental hospitals, is colour healing found to be effective? Now, this is suddenly a Yoda sentence. Particularly in mental hospitals, is colour healing found to be effective?
Reminds me of the prison, which was painted pink, and that was very effective. Prisoners tore it off.
Yeah, scared them all to death. Okay. Long ago, when I was almost a child, when I was a young man, my very good friend Mitch met one of our other very good friends on the street, and she said to him that she'd discovered colour therapy, which is probably why I've got this book. Mitch probably bought it and snuck it into my collection at some point, and thank you for that, Mitch. But she said she'd discovered colour therapy, and she was a wonderful woman. She was French, and she had a beautiful French accent, which is a little bit like that. And she said, I've discovered this wonderful therapy. All you have to do is eat food that is the right colour. Now, Mitch is a very clever man. So he immediately said, have you thought of using food dye?
That is such a good idea.
He was quick on his feet. You've got to give him that. So, many hospitals, psychiatric institutes. Do you think this is true?
No.
I think it must be undeniably true because...
well, I mean, it is highlighted, underlined in pink.
It's underlined in pink. My favourite bit in here, and I must admit I haven't actually read this book, but my favourite bit is this diagram. And the enthusiastic reader of this book has written... Oh, dear. There's a name written at the top of the page there. I hope nobody saw that. I baptize my 12 mind powers in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And she's drawn in a little purple cross, a little purple heart, and for some reason a little purple triangle or pyramid. Then on the next page, she's underlined not only in pink, but in yellow. I'm guessing that these
They mean different things.
They must mean there are orange bits. Oh, we should have worked out what the colour code is.
Because that's the secret.
Now I've lost the page. So
oh, that's fine.
There's some in green. But she also, down the sides of the pages, has written again and again and repeatedly, I believe. Now, okay, this is the worst kind of vapid nonsense, frankly. This is somebody who has
I just find something.
Immersed themselves in a set of beliefs which then claim to be scientific. So let's make the first point. If you claim that hospitals and psychiatric hospitals and doctors and scientists have done something, then you absolutely must give references and say where the papers are that prove this. What's more, when you check, if you really want to understand the world, you have to go and look at these papers. And I'm going to give an example now, which is that during the campaign to restrict AIDS in Africa, the Holy Roman Catholic and Apostolic Church put out a paper saying that condoms were not effective in restricting AIDS transmission. And they cited a paper in their declaration written by a man who had done research. He was outraged that his conclusions had been misreported in this way, because that's not at all what he'd said. He said quite the contrary. And just as a piece of evidence that you can check if you want, over a 10-year period in Nevada where prostitution is legal, not one single prostitute became infected with AIDS. That's because the law says they have to use condoms. So sometimes people make false claims and you have to be willing to chase a claim down. There's a great deal of this happening on the internet with the little echo chambers, where you have somebody like Dylan Roof who shot 9 people dead, claiming that slaves were happy in slavery because they're a kind of subspecies. I would point anybody that believes that towards the journals of Thomas Thistlewood, who was a slave owner. And it is about the most scary thing I've ever read. And I've read some pretty scary things. I'm not going to get into any of the details. But people will, in an echo chamber, they will create nonsense. So look to the authority. If somebody won't tell you where they got the information from, they'll say, well, many scientists believe. They're talking nonsense. That's what's called a glittering generality in the world of fake news. He's found something in the book, I think, and he's eager to share it with us. Oh, he's lost it already.
No, the stomach is filled with memory cells which go on quietly functioning subconsciously long after you've forgotten about them.
I've forgotten about them.
Yeah, me too.
What is it that goes functioning?
Memory cells in your stomach.
Memory cells in my stomach.
Yeah, they're plotting against you secretly.
Now, let's look at the sciencey bit here, which is that, yes, in fact, there are neurons in the digestive system. They're not actually in your stomach, because your stomach's got a load of acid in it and a mucus lining and all of that. But if you go down into the intestines...
The stomach muscle.
Sorry?
Or the stomach muscle.
Or the stomach muscle, which causes a contraction of the stomach, then you will find neurons. This is true. As to whether their memory of anything is useful, that's another matter altogether. So we have here, we've got loads and plenty of amusing things. Oh, it says, they've got a little note at the back that says something about our sex organs. People who relate or listen to dirty jokes are opening their minds and bodies to health problems in the sex organs. Now, this is rather like the claim that was made by the founder of the Boy Scouts in Scouting for Boys, that masturbation is the cause of all mental illness.
Christ.
And his publishers were wise enough, even in Edwardian times before the First World War, his publishers were wise enough to say, Mr. Baden-Powell, it would not be a good idea to say that. So it's only in modern editions that it's actually come back. And there you are. This claim made by an authoritative man, Baden-Powell, usually called Baden-Powell, I'm told the family like to be called Powell, that this is the cause of all mental illness. And this is not based on anything scientific. So I suppose that where we're leading in this is that, it's got so many things in here. That's the I see that. Well, falling hair, we can cure that. that this is a whole trend. This is if you think right things will happen to you. It's called the law of attraction, which has been beautifully pilloried by J.P. Sears. Just put it on your vision board. It's called The Secret, a best-selling book that was recommended by Oprah Winfrey, that queen among intellectuals and scientists. She's brilliant, actually, Oprah. She's great. I can't argue with her. But in this case, she was wrong, recommending this book that says all you have to do is think the right thoughts and, the right stuff will happen to you. You actually have to live right. If you look into the Buddhist teaching, it says, right thinking is one of the aspects of what you have to do. But you have to live right as well. And in terms of, singing, oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches. I must make amends. The notion, or Nichiren Shosu Soka Gakkai, that you pray to a Gohonzon, a scroll for what you want. Tina Turner was involved with this, which is terribly sad. Brilliant singer. Great mover as well. It's where Mick Jagger learned his moves from. People, believe nonsense. They think that your mind, your thoughts are influencing the world all around you and making it comply to your will. Just take a look at the size of the universe. Just think about there being, 7 billion people, more than 7 billion now, and all of these thoughts going on, and the thoughts probably of all of the other trillions of creatures in this world. It's just too complicated to work. The reality is that you do have to work. You do have to actually want something and work towards it. Just asking God for prosperity, which is, by the way, not something that's in the teachings of Jesus, who said, if you want to follow me, you have to give everything you have to the poor. Everything. The lot. So then becoming a prosperity Christian, it's a despicable notion. So we're talking about, checking facts. We're talking about ridiculous notions. We're talking about not accepting something just because your dad says it's true.
Yeah, that's right. So I'm going to put this book on my head and see if the knowledge diffuses down to me.
Minasti.
I want to say it works, and I still have no knowledge.
I have now taken in all of the wonderful teachings of this book. And just to finish off, healthy child conceived after imaging it. So all of this is about, some bizarre, and all the way through, this poor woman who's read this book has written, I believe, down, you see it down here, page after page, she's put, I believe. And what she believes is the power by which you are justified or condemned is within you. So, if you murder somebody, then the power by which you are justified or condemned is within you.
Genghis Khan was fine because he was a Taoist and he forgave himself.
He was. Yeah. Most people don't know that. He supported one of the two Chinese Taoist sects, which is just horrific, because there is nothing in the teachings of Lao Tzu, Jiangsu, that would support killing hundreds of thousands, millions of people. They just don't say that anyway.
They don't.
They don't go, you can go out and kill a lot of people. You can be sure that all injustice that has come to you sprang up from a seed of your own planting. All that has come to you of good or ill was first set into motion by your own good or ill thoughts and actions. And the truth is, none of us is that big. None of us is that powerful. We are part of a huge universe, and we do not control it through willpower. And I think that's enough for the moment. Thank you very much for your company. I'm John Atack.
I'm Sam Atack.
And this has been an Opening Minds presentation. And we hope to see you all again very soon indeed.
Yeah.